good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxtail, on the show tonight. It's Brentman and Linda.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone.
Good evening, Ox. Good evening, Bridgeman. Hope you're well.
Don't blame me, Linda. Blame Fox.
Oh, can I just say a big good evening to you two? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
And we won't be mentioning perms or barbers or hairdressers on the show this evening.
Not anymore. Based on my hairstyle now, no, never.
Is that fair, Linda?
I think that's very fair, yes.
Yes, unless anybody comes up with a photograph of Fox that was stuck in a window. That must be quite surviving.
That would be good.
Brilliant. That was a brilliant story. Mr. Fox loved it. Right, Linda. Well, we scored 11 goals since the last time you've been on. I don't think you thought that was going to happen, did you?
No, definitely not. Ox. I mean, the Benfica game, who would have predicted a 3-3 draw? I don't know. I think a few of us maybe thought a draw would have been a good result, but how it all unfolded, I don't think anybody would have predicted that. But it was just a shame we didn't hold out for the win, and I think it shows you how far we've come, that we're quite disappointed with the draw. But still, it was a great result, and it's a fantastic start to the European campaign, isn't it?
Brilliant. I'm just some of the messages in that lobby. Linda for First Minister.
No thanks.
You've got a cult following. I think the result was very, very good, but how we arrived at the result left us all gutted. Yeah,
I know. And when we got into the lead, when it was 2-1, I think was that when Aribo missed the header, and we were thinking, that could actually come back to haunt us, and then obviously we came out, played really well at the beginning of the second half, got the goal, went 3-1 ahead, Alfie, beating the record, McCoy's European record. And then you just thought, just hold out now and a bit of game management, but we just didn't manage it, didn't we not? And, in hindsight's a wonderful thing, but you wonder if, it might have been better bringing on some more subs, because I think he only made one sub, didn't he? But still, we've just got to take the positives, eh?
I would have bit your hand off for that result before the match, but it was the circumstances, Bridget.
Yeah, I think everybody's bitterly disappointed, but at the same time, half of our feelings are about, well, we're sitting there joint top of the group, and providing things go the way we would like them to go, we'll maybe end up like that, and maybe even at the top. But from this moment on, I don't think there's anybody thinking that we'll lose. We'll get put out of the group. No, we will go through. That's what we want to get through. But wouldn't it be nice to get through as the top? That'd be really good. And if Rangers can do it and carry a wee bit of luck when we play that team at Ibrox, because just remember, they are a very, very good team. We played brilliantly. I would imagine that the 10 men was a factor in it, but we did play brilliantly. I thought some of our touches was great. Scored some good goals. Everything was right for us, and it was a great night. Unfortunately, two blunders. In fact, 3 blunders gave them the goals. But hey, we lost a goal in the first minute, and we came back and we were leading 3-1 during that game. Nothing. Seriously, nothing could have beat us other than myself, and that's the way it was.
Yeah. Obviously, it's frustrating, Linda, when you lose goals like that, but we can't take it away how well the team have done with the piece.
Yeah, and some of the football, as Bridge says, in that actual Benfica game was amazing, wasn't it? I've heard you talking about it reminded us of some of the football, in the Advocate era, and particularly in the European stage, and it's just been a work in progress for Gerrard. We seem to be getting better and better, touch wood, particularly in Europe, But no, as I say, the football was fantastic, and as I say, it's just a shame that we didn't get the win. However, a draw, as you said, Ox, we would have taken that before the game.
Most certainly. And then we moved on to another bizarre but pleasing game. I think a lot of people predicted a very decent result, but I don't think they could have predicted that, Linda.
No, I don't think so. To score 8 goals, and I know we were playing Hamilton, they're bottom of the league, and they've not had their sort of troubles to see in terms of the number of games they've played recently. But you've still got to go out and win the game, and we've struggled against teams like Hamilton in the past, and as we touched on, in previous shows, they actually, they beat us last season. And I was also wondering about how the team would react after Thursday, Ox. They could have felt sorry for themselves, but they didn't. They just absolutely went out and played fantastic, high tempo, and right from the word go. And to get 8 goals was, it was a really great achievement considering the number of games that we've had to play recently as well.
Yeah, but I think what's pleased a lot is Bridgman was the attitude.
Oh yeah, it was entirely different to what we've seen up to now in the season. I think that they coming back from the Thursday night, and to all intents and purposes, I imagine the players felt we should have won that game. It was like a defeat to a certain extent, but once they get their feet on the deck again, maybe a wee rest and then back into training, they come up on the Sunday and they do it. Absolutely outstanding stuff. Really, I mean, seriously, I go way back to watching the games before we had Willie Henderson and people like that. And when you see close passing, and it's as good as we've got, oh my God, we were brilliant, really brilliant. So proud of them, and I dare say every Rangers fan should be too. Really, really good. Very happy with them. So, Linda, did you enjoyed it all the way through for the 8 goals?
Yeah, absolutely, Bridge. It was an amazing game, and it was one of the most enjoyable games of the season, because I never really felt that we were under threat at any point. And I know that's easy to say because we did score 8 goals, but it was just the way we started, and the tempo was really high, and everybody really looked up for it. And we seem to have, found a way of actually beating these teams that do a lot of defending in the games, so that augurs well for the future.
Yeah, and who did you think was your favourite out of the team, the way they played? Who was your man of the match, do you think?
Well, I quite liked Ruth, the way that he played, Bridge. He got his couple of goals, but he was involved in a lot of the play as well, and I think he's going to be a big player for us, because he's probably not even 100% fit yet. But I also thought Defoe had a really good game, and I know he didn't score, but he was involved in a lot of the good play. And I think that'll do him the world of good as well, the fact that he's been involved in a really good performance.
They were all laughing on me. They were all shirking on me. He was getting it tight. Deserved it as well, didn't he?
He was probably mystified as to why these balls were getting put inside the 6-yard box, and he actually wasn't anywhere near them. The ball bounced off the post and went right past him, and he must have been going, "How the hell did that happen?"
I've got a tap in here. The next thing,
exactly, yeah.
Was it Roof?
Roof, it was, yeah.
Was that his best game for the club, Linda?
Defoe, yeah.
No.
Ruth, sorry, Ruth. I would say so, Ox. Yeah, He just looked as if he was near enough getting to the 100%, because you can tell some of the appearances he's made, he's not quite been right. But considering his injury and that he had, but I thought he was great. I mean, the header was fantastic, wasn't it? The way he got up, and I think he's going to, as I said, he's going to be a top player for us.
I thought he did a good game. I was impressed with Kent, Aribo, Brian Jack. Oh, you could go on Tav. It's becoming a norm with Tav, Linda.
Yeah, just our captain. It would be absolutely brilliant if he went on and we had a bit of success this season, because he really deserves it. his overall contribution's been outstanding. You know, the top goal scorers at 12 he's got, and the number of assists. And I think we've said before, these penalties, you know, it's not easy to take penalties. You know, he's under a lot of pressure, but he's been, you know, tucking them away as well. So long may that continue with Tav.
As a big centre half, I have to say, a big fan of centre halves, I should say, I enjoyed taking penalties. I didn't take that many of them because they wouldn't let me, but I enjoyed taking the ones I did get. But as soon as I missed one, that was me finished. They didn't let me take any more.
That was the second one, Linda.
What's that?
That was the second one.
The second one.
I scored a few goals and it was really good, you know. Listen, by the way, Tavernier, totally outstanding Sunday. Totally outstanding. And oh my goodness, to see an athlete, he never stopped running. He get in there and the one that Roof managed to hit in there from the right, I think he got the ball from Tav or something like that, and there was a melee. The goalkeeper managed to push the ball out, and there was Tav to poke it home. Unbelievable stuff. A right back in the centre forward. Unbelievable.
You're right, Rich, you're right. Listen, can I just give everybody a shout out, part of Rangers Radio, for the GoFundMe page who have donated and took a shot at the football card. Some of the donations for buying a square have been absolutely magnificent. We will give everybody that's done it a shout out. There's still some squares left. So you know what it is. It's on the GoFundMe page. Rangers supporters Erskine appeal. All the money raised is going straight to that charity, that organisation, and the signed ball will be sent from the northwest of Glasgow to your house. We can't do more than that, but thank you.
I could just go and pick it up, couldn't I?
Oh, that's if you win it.
Just joking.
That's if you win it. If you win it.
Of course, that's what I'm meaning. Oh dear.
If you win it, you win it. But thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure the boys who do great work with Erskine, with the Rangers supporters.
Mrs. Bridgman would just make a nice wee spot in the you know, she can just do that.
I can see all that favourite China getting moved out that car.
You know, it'll be there, and then all of a sudden, one day the window will open and the ball will get blown out the window. Oh, I've lost it.
And it'll be a mystery, won't it?
A mystery. You're absolutely right. Don't bring that ball in here.
I can imagine you turning up Bruce with a ball.
Oh, no. I was playing for this team years and years ago in South Africa, and we won every tournament we entered. We won it. It was just even the five-a-side, even the charity five-a-side games. We won the tournament or that. And I had a lovely big what do you call it? What do they call it? Not a stereo system, yeah. And it was one of these built-in ones, and 6 cups or something like that on the top of that. She ended up. She put them in a bag.
Up the loft.
Up the loft.
There's a bag. Put it in a bag. I'm the one. I think she was proud at the time because it was a good thing. It was a good thing for me. I think she was proud, but she gave me into trouble. We can't have that all the time. Blah blah blah. You know. I think she wanted me to stop playing football right enough. I must admit.
I don't think it was the football. I think it was some of the antics, but some of the evidence that has been sent my way.
That's a lot of antics, right enough, yeah.
But that's for another show. Maybe we'll be doing Bridge, This Is Your Life.
Oh my God, don't do that. You'll waste it. What a waste. What a waste.
I'm struggling in a hold of so many police sergeants.
Oh, jeez, don't bother with any of them. Don't bother with any of them.
Like Stevie's working on that. See if we're going through the retired coppers. We can't get a hall. With this COVID, we can't get a hall big enough. That's just the police.
Shockers.
Right,
Shockers.
Okay. So if people want to join us, these are thoughts. I think Linda's got something we're going to talk about after we open up the phone lines. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We were on a call with Fox and Old School Blue. Phone in, hang up, and we'll phone you back. And you can come in and talk to Bridge and Linda. And what can I talk about, Linda?
Can talk about anything as long as it's about Rangers.
Here. Right, so you've got a wee thought about two people. How do we put this? Well, two Rangers legends. One way big legend. One becoming a legend because of what happened last week in Benfica.
Yeah. Alfie and Ali.
Yes, I know what one that you like the posters of.
Yes, I'm afraid it was Ali McCoist for me all the way. I just thought he was a brilliant player. I know he didn't have the best of times when he was manager Ox, but I always just think my memories of Ali are when he played for us, you know, all the goals that he scored. But I was thinking about maybe, you know, do you think about some of the best goals, you know?
Oh,
Do you think we could have
Ali
a wee chat about
McCoist.
that?
Oh, now you're talking brilliantly. I mean, McCoist became a fabulous striker, didn't he? He learned his craft. He developed, and when we got to that, when he'd been with the club about 10 years, he become just a magnificent striker and some record for us.
Yeah.
Alfie, very, very young and raw and a different kind of player, but McCoy's best goals, God's sake, that's some question bridge, isn't it?
Oh, you know, immediately springs to my mind is in a European game, and of course there was goals, marvellous goals against them, but was the one against Leeds United down there with a cross for Hateley. That was the ball coming out for our area, and ended up with Hateley crossing the ball over to Ali, and Ali a diving header, unbelievable, just unbelievable. Of course, all the tension and all that about the game, everything was all there. So, but did you make it to that game?
I was there, mate. I was sitting, fortunate enough, right in front of the Leeds United director's box. So as the ball got played out to Hateley, right in front of me, and he was running down the wing, it was some pass for Gerrard. You just see they put it in, and Ali came in, and there was actually a ripple of applause when on Ellen Road. The Leeds supporters were very sporting. I don't know if it would have been our way about if we'd have been like that. They weren't so sporting when the first goal went in. I jumped up and somebody gave me a wee tap in the side of the face, shall we say. A dullion in the jaw it was actually. Such is life.
That was Big Hateley's goal, wasn't it? That was a fabulous
goal. That was Hateley's goal. I promised I wouldn't jump up. I could help it.
No wonder.
It's natural.
Because McAllister had got the goal in the first leg, but silenced the whole of the stadium. I was at that game.
And what a goal that was.
It?
What a goal that was. Wow.
And then Ali managed to get the winner, so that we went down there with the 2-1 lead. But that was one of my favourites, Bridge. I definitely had that on my wee list. Yeah. Ali's header, and just totally, the joy in his face. But another couple of the ones I thought was the overhead kick in the Hibs.
Yeah,
against Hibs.
That was fabulous. That was just fabulous.
It just come back for a broken leg. He wasn't fit.
Yeah,
and it was just the last minute. I think it was the last minute extra time. I can't remember, but that was it could only be McCoy's, couldn't it?
Yeah.
He could have scored a lot more goals than he got, but he comes shocking decisions by the referees with penalty, with straight handballs. And the referee never saw it. I'll just go on, carry on. Terrible stuff. McCoy could have scored a lot more goals for us, just on his sort of not giving penalties.
There's one sticks in my mind, Linda. I think it was during the Souness era, and he'd come on as sub. At that time, remember he was famous for the teapot. I said, Mum, remember he brought a cup of tea?
Yeah, he was on the bench and he came out with his wee teapot. Yeah.
Aye. So that was when he was going through that era, and he came on as sub against Aberdeen. I can't remember who threw it, and it was Copeland Road End, 25 yards out, angle of the box, and they got it played in. He just turned and they put it in, and I think he was a bit potty, but he was just putting a marker down that he should be playing.
Yeah. Ox, I remember David Murray telling a story about that particular goal. I don't know if it was on one of McCoy's videos or his DVDs as you know, I've got them all. And I think he said that Souness was sitting in the director's box with him, and he didn't even clap when that goal went in, because obviously there must have been stuff going on between the two of them, you know, behind the scenes, and he just wasn't starting them, wasn't he not? But I remember David Murray telling a story about that, but I remember that goal very well, you know, it was a fantastic goal.
He's got some fantastic goals for us, but his record also, obviously, his record's been broken in Europe now with Alfie, but he's also got a great record against our main rivals.
Yeah.
You know, he seemed to do it regular against.
I know. I think Ox, my favourite.
I'll take this call, Linda.
Yeah,
How we doing,
no
caller?
worries.
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
How are you? What's your name, mate?
Derek.
How are you doing, Derek? That's a good Rangers name.
Absolutely. You actually read out my name last night and you thought I was maybe your ex-boss.
Derek Watson.
Correct.
Right, okay. The gaffer called that in the shipyards, mate. Good Rangers
Ah, right,
supporter
well, I'm
was.
not.
Don't tell me you were in the shipyards, Derek. Now, come on.
No, I wasn't. No.
That's all right, then. That's all right.
How are you doing, Derek? Nice to meet you, mate. First time caller, yeah?
Yes, I am. I'm first time caller, long time listener, as they say these days.
Yeah.
I'm actually from Armadale in
All
West
right,
Lothian,
okay.
but I've been up the northeast of Scotland, the Aberdeenshire area for 40 years. I ran the Granite City Rangers Supporters Club for 10 years in the late 80s and early 90s.
All right. A real blow nose then, yeah? Behind enemy
Absolutely.
lines, yeah?
Absolutely. It's not easy up here sometimes, I can tell you.
Yeah. It wasn't always like that, Bob, was it?
After the Durant incident, yes. That's when it started, wasn't it?
Prior to that,
We just didn't like each other.
no. The Rangers supporters used to go up and stay the weekend, didn't they?
Well, yes. We used to have busloads coming up and we used to have dances up here and players up here and all the rest of it. Yeah, it used to be good.
Aye. Things have moved on. We're
Things
talking
have
about
moved on.
Morelos and McCoist, Derek. We're talking about, well, we hadn't got to Morelos. We started talking about McCoist and Linda's want to turn into a special.
All right.
He likes your Ali. Ali the player, she says. Ali the player. We've not got Ali the manager.
No.
What's on your mind, Derek?
Well, actually, I just phoned up for two reasons, just to let you know I'm not your ex-boss. And
Thanks very much.
And also to congratulate you guys on the show you put on, and Linda's a welcome addition. It's refreshing, and I love the show, and that's all I wanted to say really, because I'm actually hopeless at facts and figures and names. I can hardly remember my own half the time.
Oh, we've got a guy like that called Port Bear.
Yes, indeed.
Brilliant, mate. Well, it's no your show, it's everybody's show. We're just the guys that are, if you like, the front men, but it's a platform for Rangers supporters.
Yeah, with regard to Morelos, I think like every other Rangers supporter, we're all really frustrated with him, but I think he's turned the corner.
Aye, Linda?
Yeah, I hope so. Is it Derek? Yeah, Derek. I hope so, because you know, we need all our good players, you know, to be settled and playing well. And I think we all thought he was going to be out the door, you know, at the beginning of the season. But you know, he's not maybe scored as many goals as we would have expected. But he's to play like the Alfie that we've come to love, you know, and
Definitely.
a couple of good European goals recently for him, and maybe he'll start going on a wee run. But it's quite good that we're not over-reliant on him anymore, isn't it?
Well, I think we proved that at the weekend, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been heading that way, Derek. I think it's been heading that way. I think it's Morelos has been playing, shall we say, a link man for a number of games as well. He's got himself a nice wee position. He likes to patrol and pick up the ball and move it around, which is, I think, he's brilliant at it as well, you know. So, but personally, I prefer him scoring goals, because I love to see his face lighting up when he does score. So I'm looking forward to him getting a wee bit of form back and scoring a few goals. So but Derek, are you in the 70s man? From a Rangers perspective, are you In the 70s, were you?
Well, more
Oh.
the 80s. I was
The 80s, right? Okay. I didn't mean to say you were old there, by the way, so my apologies.
I am. But no, it's all good for the Rangers' perspective at the moment. So long may it continue.
Yeah, are you pleased how it's going? Do you see a difference, Derek? Do you see
Oh,
they've got
absolutely.
this springboard?
Definitely. The actual football we're playing just now is fantastic. Loving it.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that, Linda. Huh?
Yeah, it's fantastic, the football. And there's so many players actually playing well just now. You know, when you think about even the players that we had, you know, over the past couple of seasons, we've been improving the quality of the squad. But the players even that were here last year have actually improved as well this season. So everybody's up in their game. And it's probably because when they look at the bench, there's really great quality there and people can come on and make a difference.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's a big question for you then, Derek. Are we going to do it?
I don't like to get overconfident, but yes. I think we will.
That'll do. That'll do for me, Bridge.
But I don't think we've got a better chance.
Derek couldn't get finishing that there. I take it, Derek, you're quite keen that we win 55, yeah?
Oh, what a party that would be.
Yeah. You'll be invited down to it, don't you worry about that, pal. You'll be there.
Thank you.
I'm sure they're going to open up Ibrox and it's going to be all night long, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, it would be
Oh,
fantastic.
rainbow coming, Bridge.
There's a rainbow coming, absolutely. Wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't that be lovely? I'll tell you. Aye, well,
We've suffered a lot.
Who was
Aye,
your
we've
favourite? Who was your favourite player then when you were at your height going to the games?
Oh, dear. Michael Moles and all, like
There you go.
Loud,
There you
that
go.
sort of era.
Yeah.
Oh, great player. Michael Moles, I mean, he was unique as far as a striker. I don't think I've seen the likes before or since. That turn was it was different from anything I've ever seen.
Yeah,
He was
definitely.
something else.
Unlucky with that injury because of the way he played. To get a knee injury, he came back and he was good, but he was that first few months against top class opposition, he rang them ragged.
Yeah, I don't think we'd ever seen anything like him, Ops,
No.
hadn't we not? You know, we're talking about Ali and all his goals and, you know, he was a great striker for us, but when Moles came in, he was different. He was just something that we hadn't seen before. And I definitely think he would have been on and played at the, you know, even higher level, you know, I think, and it was a real shame for him. But he's still got a great love for the club. You see that in all his Instagram posts and stuff. You know, he really loved his time at Rangers.
Yeah, he was some player, Derek. Yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as I say, once a year, always a year.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Kevin Kyle would say that. Michael
That's a good one, Goxie. That's a good one.
Very good.
Bridges, mate, number 29.
Number 29. Oh my God! Don't remind me, please. Move on.
You know, but
I'll
you're right.
I'll let you guys get on, and thanks.
Right. Listen, thanks
I
for
really,
the call.
really,
Listen,
really enjoy
also,
the show. I
thanks
don't
for the
often listen to
donation.
it live.
Thanks for the call and thanks for the donation, Derek. Yeah.
No problem at all. You guys
All
take
right.
care.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Derek. Well done, pal.
Bye, Derek.
Bye, Linda. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye, Linda. We don't get by like that, Bridge, do we?
Never.
Bye, Linda. You just hang up on me, Bridge.
She should be ashamed.
I'm working on some stories, Bridge. I'm working on some stories.
Oh. Remember my lawyer?
We don't worry about lawyers' letters.
Well, certainly not at the moment, anyway, from Mrs. S. Kipper.
Skipper, that's all we're getting.
Although, wait a minute, hold on. I think that I think Stato's actually hired Skip and Skip's lawyer. Big Senga. I think he's hired them for. I don't know what for right enough.
We've had a couple off of him the last 2 weeks.
Say no more then.
They're only
Is
baby ones because they're in a wee envelope.
Brad, does that cause everybody keep stealing his stats? I take it,
Well,
yeah.
Stato's going absolutely radio rental, and he thinks. Sorry.
Somebody comes out with a stat and it goes nuts.
You know how we're all trying to, like say we were telling stories and it was in the 24th minute and, a wonderful, and it was like, he was sent off in the 16th. All that nonsense.
Yeah.
These are all the stats that he absolutely loves. He does a lot of analysis and his people are coming in and I think he thinks that people are stealing it deliberately. But it's not the case.
Yeah, stealing
His
his thunder,
stats.
Brad.
I don't think it was even that. I just think he just didn't like it, that's all.
He's got his niche, he's got his crowd, he's got his fans, and people are taking away his stats.
That's
But,
terrible.
he's
It's
one-
terrible thinking that way, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, the world would be a lot better places if there was more Statos in the world, yeah?
Oh my God, better believe it. Better believe
Yeah.
it. Fine lad, a fine lad. A bad place he's from, but a fine lad nevertheless.
Yeah, well, we'll not hold that against them. That's another stat on its own.
Another stat.
Right, where were we? Well, we better see if there's anybody else wanting to call in, Bridge. What's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We've got a call with Fox and Old School Blue. And phone in, hang up, and we will phone you back. And what can I talk about, Linda?
They can talk about anything as long as it's the famous Glasgow Rangers.
And Rangers Radio will be making an announcement after 9 o'clock tonight.
Ooh.
There you go.
Is it about David Murray or anything? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm happy.
No. Or it's not about Charles Greenman and his court case neither, no.
That's a cracker, isn't it? A blast with the
Don't go
past. For
Don't go there,
God's
mate.
sake, 8 years later.
We should have known, mate, green and white. If surely there wasn't a clue in that, you know what I mean? Anyway, enough.
The tendency was to think it was just a coincidence. Wow.
We should have known. Right, so we're back to Super Ali. Linda's pin up.
Yeah. We were talking about his old firm goals, and
Yes.
probably the one that springs to mind for me was, I think it was at one of the cups. I think it was a Scottish Cup semi-final at Hampden. I think it
Mhm.
was maybe early 90s, and David Robertson gets sent off.
Yes, 7th minute. Yes,
Yeah.
1992, Linda.
Was it 1992, Ox? So you've got a great memory. And we were down to 10 men, obviously, as you say. And I think it was really terrible conditions. And I think we scored.
Yep.
Was it Stuart McCall played the ball through to Ali, and he just first timed it into the corner. But the emotion in his face was unforgettable. And I think it was probably because I think the red card was harsh. And it was the effort that they had to put in, but we held out for the victory, and I thought that was a brilliant goal.
1992, I think it was the semi-final. We went on and won the cup against Deirdre. We hadn't
Right.
won the cup for a few years.
Aye, that's
It
right.
was a game that was moved for Sky Television to a Thursday night.
Right,
We'd never
okay.
known the likes of it. It was a sign of things to come.
Yeah, definitely it was. Aye, that's right. Because the commentators it would have been, was it Martin Tyler, and was maybe Andy Gray in the commentating
Might have
team
been,
with
might
him
have been.
at that point. But yeah, that was, he scored, I think, I'm going to do a stato here, was it maybe something like 26, 27 Old Firm goals?
Oh, Linda, I'll give you that exactly.
Brilliant.
I've got that in front of me, yes. Record by opponent.
Let Stato phone in with it.
Texas,
He scored 27,
27.
yes, in 46 games, 9 as
Wow.
sub, yeah.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Great record.
It was a great record, absolutely. So that was probably some of the favourite Ali goals. Do you want to talk a wee bit about a few of Alfie's?
There's another couple of alley goals that spring
Alright.
to mind.
Okay.
A goal was scored when we equalised with 9 men against them. Also, he got the equaliser in the 5-1 game. The first one before Wilkins scored.
So he did. That's right. Yeah.
You know, so aye, the great record. Fabulous player. Brave McCoist Bridge, man. Brave, and a better footballer than people gave him credit for.
Oh, goodness sake, aye. And by the way, I have to say, completely ambidextrous in my opinion with his shooting. You know, he could shoot with his left, shoot with his right. He really was good at it, you know. And of course, he was, as we knew him, he was still a lunatic boy, but growing up and maturing into a tremendous footballer. Brilliant football player, brilliant.
Yeah, and a great variety of goals, Bridge, you know, headers, as you say, left foot, right foot. Must have scored quite a few hat-tricks as well. You know, he just absolutely loved scoring goals. Just
He scored a
quickly-
lot of hat-tricks.
Do you want that stat as well, Linda?
Yes, that would be
All
good.
right, okay. There we go. Hat-trick list. Ali McCoist. Aye, he got a lot of goals, multiple goals. That was his thing, wasn't it? He used to destroy teams,
Yeah.
you know. But I do think he was a better player than people realised.
Yeah, definitely. And he scored goals, as we said, from all over, you know, outside the box as well. You know, they weren't all just tap-ins. You know, and he was never afraid to miss either. He didn't hide in any games if he missed a few chances. He always thought he would get another one, you know.
Hat tricks, right? Here we go. Let's go to 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. I scored a few hat tricks. I'm counting them up. Linda, leave me a minute. Give me a minute. I'll be right with these.
Okay.
I
The other
didn't
one,
realise he scored so many, Bridge.
Bridge, one of the other games I was thinking about was, I don't know if you remember when we played Hearts, and I think it was 1996. It was Gaza was here, and we beat Hearts 4-3 in the League Cup final, and Gaza and Ali got 2 each in that game.
Marvellous stuff. Absolutely marvellous stuff. Those two together, they were a good pair. Good
Yeah.
pairing for scoring goals. and they both could run and do the business. Absolutely brilliant. Just the amount of players that Ali has played beside in his long career with Rangers, some of the guys he's played beside, some of them were world-class players.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
the guy was just a star. I mean, he gave you confidence. He was on the pitch. There's a good chance he's going to either make a chance, have a shot at goal, it'll come out and somebody else will put it in. He was always going to be there and cause problems for the opposition. And that's what Rangers fans loved about him.
Yeah.
25 hat tricks, Linda.
25 Ox.
Yeah, from 1985 to 1997. Yeah, 25 hat tricks.
It's really fantastic, isn't it?
I don't think Alfie's going to beat that one.
And his first hat trick was a very, very famous one.
I think I remember it. Was it League Cup final?
Correct.
Two penalties and just another goal in the game. Was it in? Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
He scored a penalty and then he scored one for a knockdown for Sandy Clark, and then he missed a penalty and put it in the rebound.
That's right. Because I think there was a big roar when the goalie saved it. It came back out in McCoy's. He put it in, and then the Rangers fans all cheered. So it was quite funny. But yeah, that was just setting him off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
By the way, it's a great subject you've brought up to speak about, because there's very few people didn't like Ali McCoist playing the Rangers shirt. They just loved him. Rightly or wrongly, naughty boy, no naughty boy. They absolutely loved him. And when he scored goals, boom, everybody was happy.
Hello.
Well, we've joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
All right, how's it going?
What's your name, mate?
My name's Greg, mate.
How are we doing, Greg?
It's funny, I was going to phone in. And mention my very first Old Firm game, 1984, the League Cup final, and you just talked about it a minute ago, Alan McCoy's hat trick.
That was mad. I mean, I was like, I was feeling there.
We've been waiting
Aye,
for
but-
you phoning in, Greg. We've been just waiting for you phoning in with that, I'll tell you.
Aye.
Kid on me never
Aye, so that was my first Old Firm game. I'm saying Alan McCoist was my hero. But see, it wasn't always like that. See, when he first came, I don't know if anybody knows what ages are, but he used to get called Super Rally. We used to call him Sally McCoist. I don't know if you remember that.
Super Sally.
Aye, Super Sally. See, the first season he was rotten. He couldn't score. I mean, against Hamilton, we lost against Hamilton in 1983 or something. And everybody was going mental at him. But it was a shame. It was a real shame. But it was good that he stuck in. I mean, McCoist could have left. And he stuck in. And he became, to me, he's the greatest Ranger. I know John Gregg's been voted the greatest ever Ranger, but I think McCoist. Got to be McCoist. He had character.
It was a
Also-
big favourite of the fans.
Definitely. I mean, I remember my favourite thing was his goal down at Ellen Road, the second goal when against Leeds United.
Yeah.
Yeah, we brought that up. Yeah.
Did you bring it up? I know. Aye, that was.
You're in
brilliant.
among a lot of Super Rally fans.
Aye, good.
Sally, Swally.
Aye, Sally or Swally McCoist. Aye. Him and Durant and Derek Ferguson, they were a trio. They were.
Yeah.
I think Greg, one thing about Ali, you need to say he must have been mentally tough because I remember it was a Dundee, I think it was a Scottish Cup tie. And we get beat. I think John Brown might have scored against us. I can't remember, but Ali he'd one of the days and he get shirricked, and that was the famous day where he got abused for the support. But he stuck it out and the good time.
Aye, I know.
You know.
Aye, definitely. John Brown was always scoring against us, by the way. I remember every time we played Dundee, it was the next day. It was Browned off. That was the headline. Browned off because Brown would score against us.
That's the reason why we bought him.
Yeah.
Aye, exactly. He turned it a good buy, I know, didn't he?
Wonderful buy.
Some brilliant players, some brilliant teams. I mean, this season, but I mean, I must admit, the last call I was talking about it, I think we've been fantastic. Some of the football I've never seen at Rangers playing football like that, and I think Gerrard has got it right this season. I mean, it took him. A lot of people were slagging him, saying, "Oh, I was taking too long to win the league and stuff." But you've got to give him a chance. I mean, imagine getting rid of a manager. You'd have to start all over again. You know what I mean? And it's no good. We're better off with sticking with Gerrard for the next 2 or 3 years, and I think we'll win the league
I'd
the next 2 or 3
give him a
years.
20-year contract if I could.
If you could.
I think most of the guys on here would do the exact same thing. The longest contract
Definitely.
we could ever give to anyone, just do it.
Aye, he's
'Cause
brilliant.
The guy seems
Aye,
to
he's as big as Souness. He's as big as when Souness came. It's as big as that. Remember when Souness came, it was massive. It was like
That's
unbelievable.
That's a great point. As an icon, he might actually be bigger than Souness because of modern
Maybe.
modern media.
Aye.
You know.
Definitely.
But they're on a par. You could see the respect that the Galatasaray gave Linda between the respect that Gerrard gave Souness and Walter Smith was so evident, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think you also got to remember that. Sorry, pal. Sorry.
Sorry, Bridge. No, I was just going to say, Bridge, when they came up, basically when Gerrard came up to the Rangers, the kind of temporary wee studio that they had, obviously, as Ox said, Souness and Walter Smith were there, and yeah, he was, seeing the three of them just standing there, it kind of just filled you with pride. It was absolutely fantastic. But even what you were saying, Greg, when Steven Gerrard's come in, think about the position that he started in. He was actually kind of starting from scratch, wasn't he?
Definitely.
The European.
Definitely. We had nothing. We had nobody. You had to. I mean, you brought in 9 players or something immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's been a building. It's been a building process, and maybe we didn't. I'm not saying that we didn't realise that, but we maybe didn't appreciate it as much, when he first came in. I think we wanted the instant success because we've not.
Definitely.
for so long. And I think we're
Aye.
actually starting to get it a bit more now in terms
Mhm.
of the building process, and just hopefully the success will come, you know, particularly domestically.
Definitely. What do you think of this? I've been thinking about this. See, now, like, last season, we quite a lot of the time, in fact, not even just last season, forever, we've always bottled. We're maybe 1 or 2-0 up at Ibrox, and there's 5 minutes to go, right? And we sometimes bottle it because the fans, maybe we got on the players' backs, right? And sometimes they bottle it. Like, see, now there's been no fans this year. Do you think that's helped us?
Oh, that's some
Any-
question. That's some
Do
question.
you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But because there's no direct to shout at them, so there's no lot of pressure on the players.
I think
So do you
that's,
think it'll make a difference when the fans come back?
oh, wait, that's some question, you know. I think that like all walks of life, you'll have guys that have thrived without that pressure of the fans there, and there'll be other players in the team who might be missing it, but it's something you'll never be able to answer. If the fans were there, would we beat Hamilton by 12-0? Or if the fans were
Aye.
there, would we have been happy and stopped at 6? You don't know. It's real.
Aye, I know you don't know. I know.
Real good wonder. Then Bridge.
Aye.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ox. I think there'll be some players who are probably coping quite well, and because they're maybe just not, you know, that they've maybe still got a point to prove, or they've maybe not performed as well as the fans would have liked them to over the last maybe season. But then you'll get players who are just very confident in their own ability, and probably have the ones that have been playing well. You know, so as you say, Ox, there will be a mixture. But at the end of the day, I think the football is all about fans, and probably every single player wants us back, and we can't wait to get back into the stadium.
Aye.
Bridgeman, didn't you
Definitely.
come, mate?
I think that there's not been very many times that Rangers have been pretty poor, and the fan and gave the fans enough reason to boo them and shout and ball at them or whatever. I think they've been pretty good and consistent.
I didn't mean I was shouting and bawling, mate. Sorry.
No. I know what the fans are like because I'm in there. I'm in the
Aye, me
offence, so we know what it's like. And it's dead easy. You can go, oh my God, what's he doing? And that starts somebody else off. And him off. He's the worst player I've ever seen. All that nonsense, you know. So yeah, it happens all the time. But however, I think they've had the season. I don't think we'll be in front there. I don't think we'll see them at Ibrox until the end of the season. I think JFK said that a while ago. So I have to say, I think I believe it now. However, if we go through the season and we don't see them, that means that the players who we think could have had a hard time, some of them may in fact would have had a hard time, but they'll have gone through the whole season, hopefully, in a successful season, and that's us going to give them all the confidence they will ever need. And then next season, they'll come into Ibrox and they'll hear massive roars, and they'll be roared on and all the rest of it. And
then something else, won't
it? Exactly. They'll fall over the ball or something like that, and they'll get an absolute tongue lashing, you know. That's so easy.
It's just the nature of it.
Oh, my.
Aye. Hey, guys, I need to go anyway. Thanks for thanks for taking the call.
All right, I was going to say, right, Derek. I'm right, Greg.
Aye, Greg.
Much,
cheers, boys.
All the best, Greg. All the best, pal.
Bye-bye.
Stay
Yeah, people.
Cheers. It's been like a throwback to the 70s. Derek and Greg in.
Derek and Greg, I love it. Derek and Greg.
Aye, the Rangers names that, isn't it? Big John and Derek Parlane, Derek Johnson.
Absolutely.
Derek
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but where were we? Right, McCoy's mentally tough. Team player, played when he came to the team in midfield, got better as he gets older. Alfredo Morelos came in, started off differently from McCoy. Maybe started off better than McCoy did in early days, Bridge.
Yeah. Morelos, once he started playing with the Rangers, you could see he was raw, completely raw. But a big, heavy tackling guy ramming into them and so on and so forth. So that's the way he played his game. And McCoy didn't. He didn't play like that. He wanted to play on football or put the ball in front of me and I'll have a dig at goal or whatever. some of the goals Morelos scored were just outstanding, man, just outstanding. Remember the one, and I think it was against Braga with it. I might be wrong here, but the wee fella was playing it outside right, Candias. The ball was. He ran back from the opposition half into the Rangers half and backheeled it, and Morelos ran past everybody and put the ball in the net. It was just fabulous. Who was that against?
Rapid Vienna.
Rapid Vienna. There you go. The whole place just lit up. Just lit up. It's just fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous times. Just love them. I just love them a bits. See when they're playing well and scoring. Wow.
No, what was strange about McCoist? How the League Cup was so good to him, but the Scottish Cup wasn't, Linda?
Yeah. Was it just the one Scottish Cup that McCoy?
I think it was that Airdrie game. Yeah.
The Airdrie. Yeah. But the League Cup, he's got an unbelievable record in that, hasn't he? Was it,
55 games, 54 goals.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, just funny how the Scottish Cup just wasn't as kind to him, but at least he got his one Scottish Cup medal. And was it 2 European Golden Boot awards he got?
Yep, 1992-93, 49 goals in total. League goals would have been 34, 91-92, 34 league goals as well, 2 in a row.
You're going to upset status. Something terrible.
Oh, sorry. I better watch what I'm doing here. Oh, dear.
Brilliant
Right,
statistics
what I
coming
love.
out here. I won't say anything to him right enough, I won't say.
It's not that bridge, he knows what I love.
In terms of Alfie, guys, some of the goals that he scored in Europe, I mean, they've come up against what you would call really good class opposition. I know they're not in the Champions League, and I heard, a couple of folk, when they've been comparing the records, the European records, will have said, oh, well, Alfie's not done it in the Champions League. But you can argue that some of the teams probably are near enough Champions League teams. I don't know what you think about that.
Well, remember that the first nearly 10 years of Ali's career, there wasn't such a thing as the Champions League, yeah?
Yeah, it was just the European Cup, yeah.
Yeah, and we weren't always in that in the first few years, but when you look at it, Ali scored 22 goals in Europe. I've not checked it out, and I'm testing the memory bank here, Linda.
Right.
I reckon only one of them was actually in the Champions League group stages.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think it was against?
I've got a funny feeling. I'm trying to think now. Sturm Graz. With Vladi Kavkov. He scored a hat-trick away. That was a marvellous result, but that wasn't in a group stage.
Was that like the first round or something, Ox?
That was the last knockout stage, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fabulous result. And then we went in against Grasshoppers, Ajax. Who else was in this section that year? Auxerre.
Maybe it was Grasshoppers.
I don't think he scored that season. No, I need to check that out, Linda, but I don't think he scored as many actual Champions League goals as you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But a marvellous player, McCoist. But would you think anybody will ever get close to his goal scoring again? Do you think people have that longevity in a one club?
No, I don't think that's just the spot on, Ox. You're not going to get the longevity because players, I don't think, stay at clubs for as long as that anymore. I think there's more movement, isn't there? But at the end of the day, maybe you'll get 6 or 7 years. Maybe our captain will be a long-serving player, their current captain.
That's a good point there. The captains tend to be long-serving, don't they? Because Lee Wallace was quite a long-serving captain in the Rangers. John Gregg.
I always thought Lee Wallace was part of a problem, mate, not a solution.
Okay, you could be right. These things are sent to try us for sure. But I think
I don't think he would have ever got the longevity of the club if he hadn't been done. He was bang average for me left back. He had a fantastic season under Warburton in the Championship, but after that, I think we've seen the standard of league. In my opinion, of course. Lovely guy, great bloke, but that's only my opinion. But
I think Tavernier is probably going to be the closest you'll get to a long-serving club member player, and I could see Tavernier playing to the end of his career with Rangers. I could actually see it. Stephen Davis could have done that years ago if we didn't have our problems and he had to go. But he could have been with us for a long time. Okay. There's nobody many. Sorry.
Yeah, right. So we're over halfway. The football cards over the hill. Some great amounts getting in. We can't believe the money we've raised. We just have to fill the football card so we can open it. So please, if you've got a few quid that's gone to a worthy cause, go to GoFundMe. Rangers supporters Erskine Appeal. That's where you'll find it. Please donate if you can afford it, of course. And hopefully you'll win the sign ball.
I'm looking forward to that.
But winning it,
yeah.
I think you've been allocated Celtic as a square.
Oh no! Don't you dare say that, man! Don't you dare!
I think that was
swearing on the radio like that. Swearing on the radio.
I think that was a box that just happened to randomly your name appeared.
Randomly, right? Aye. Oh, what a shocker!
Well, you've got a good chance, mate, because I'll need to win something this year.
Oh, I'm gutted. I don't want the cup. I don't want it, whatever it is. I don't want it. You can keep it gay charity. I don't want it. If it's them, I don't want it.
Right. Get yourself in mute, and we're going to have a tune.
I sailed the wild Atlantic across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes and I've heard the 40s roar. I've climbed the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea, but never see back home in Scotland more than all the rest of me. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. And it's part of the feeling that they are free. No more I'll sail the seven seas, no more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the urge again, I'm back where I belong. And fear of each Saturday I'll join the mighty throng. With flags and banners all around, I'll proudly sing this song. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. And it's part of the feeling that they are free. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my rock. And it's part of the feeling that they are free. And it's part of the feeling that they are free.
And it's part of every Rangers player's dream. Blue, blue sea of Ibrox. Wonderful. Mrs. Bridgman just asked me if I was doing the Parley Glide. That's what she said to me. Is that you doing the Parley Glide there? Chica.
Oh dear, that's a word from the past, right?
I'll tell
Okay.
you. Okay.
I don't know how that woman puts up with you. I really don't. He's not saying a word, Linda. He's not saying a word.
I can't say it. You'll kill me.
Bridge, everybody still loves your singing in my house anyway.
You get the voice of an angel.
The voice
Yeah.
of an angel, yeah. It's just great, and it's just great.
Right, here we go. This is quite a big thing for us on Rangers Radio. We're going to be joined by somebody officially for Glasgow Rangers Football Club. Rangers Radio will be joined tomorrow by Natalie Nairn and potentially Greg Marshall, who's coming to speak to us, and we're going to be talking about some subjects. Natalie is the partnership and projects manager in the commercial marketing departments are bag. She's coming to take questions, talk to us about MyJers, which is one of our things, the 150th anniversary, which is coming up fast, and of course this 2nd of January, the 50th anniversary of the Ibrox disaster. Obviously a lot of things have changed, been planned and cut due to what's happened in the world with COVID. She's coming to take questions and coming to talk to us about what's happening with our club and give some feedback and tell us things that could be happening and suggestions for MyJers. So great for us on Rangers Radio. Well, if you've got questions, put them in the lobby. Fox will look for them in the lobby. On Facebook, of course, we're on Port Bear. And if you're on YouTube, we'll pick it up there and we'll get the answers. We'll collect the questions and we'll pick the best ones. And we will ask Natalie and Greg when they join us tomorrow. So a big day for Rangers Radio, Bridgeman.
Absolutely. And it's as I think I said a wee bit earlier to you, you're doing really well. I'm really looking forward to officials from Rangers are going to be on our radio station. It's just wonderful to hear. We've had a few in the past before, guys that have worked for Rangers, but this is going to be something else, seriously. So it's got the fans, the supporters, liaison officer, is that right?
Yeah, Greg might be here as well, yeah.
So he was in the past, it would have been Jim Hanna. Yeah.
Jim Hanna, aye.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Jim came on after he retired. Jim was great on the show, wasn't he?
Aye, a great friend of the show.
Aye. But good for us, Linda, and hopefully we get the questions and we can ask them and the show works, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. And it's really fantastic that, as Bridge says, officials, from Rangers are wanting to engage with fans forums. And I think they probably, see that it's kind of the way ahead. There's lots and lots of platforms now for Rangers fans to go on, give their opinion. They can join in. We can ask questions. It's really fantastic. So for Rangers Radio to get these two guys coming on, it's a real achievement, Ox. So well done to everyone.
I think you might swung it, Bridge, when they asked us how we stood legally, and I said we're in constant dialogue with our lawyers.
But please don't mention names. It could be a bit off-putting for everyone.
We're in Mr. S. Kipper. But I think obviously things are changing in the world of football, not just at our club, and people are taking out that the mainstream media because we really don't need them anymore. The club can get right to the fans instantly through all the things that's happening. So the Red Tops are losing some of their influence in the world of football, Linda.
Yeah, totally agree with that, Ox. And I think for us, we do feel, I think, particularly over the last couple of seasons, that we've not had enough credit in the media for just what progress we've made. And we all accept that we haven't won any trophies, we know that, but we have made progress and we don't get enough credit for that. And sometimes some of the stuff in mainstream media about Rangers is just ridiculous, and sometimes we get fed up with it. So I think a lot of the fans now are turning to our own platforms. And I'm not saying that we don't have blue tinted glasses at times. We sometimes do, I suppose, but I think we're an honest bunch. and sometimes we're our harshest critics. And I think we try and give honest views about things, but I don't think we get that reciprocated in the mainstream media, I'm afraid.
We've had our first question through, Bridge. You listening?
Yes, I'm listening, buddy.
Skipper asked, can we ask them if they want to buy a brick?
Nice
Oh,
one.
brilliant, Skip.
Nice one. Well done, Skipper boy.
What a man. Oh, man. What a sense of humour. I think you're right, Linda. The things are developing and their influence is waning, and rightly so. They brought it on themselves.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
Do you guys really see that? Do you really see that?
Well, Bridge, man, I know it's been a couple of years since you've maybe been in an office or a work. You just don't see newspapers anywhere. They're redundant, mate.
That's right.
With you.
You know, if somebody's sitting having a cup of tea and they're looking for media, they're looking for news, they'll have a phone out and it's instant. It's up to date. It's no last night's news or the morning's news when you're talking about late afternoon. It's all instant now. So the world's changed, mate.
So the world's moving on. Okay, that's fine. I'll leave it at that then. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to bother.
No,
It's
you
controversial.
keep away from it. Mrs. Bridge will kill me when you get all upset.
Correct.
Okay, so good news for Rangers Radio, and we hope it's a successful show tomorrow night. And obviously, if you get any questions, put them in the appropriate place. We'll look at them all, and if we can, we'll ask as many as possible. But thanks to Natalie and Greg from Rangers Football Club coming to join us here in Rangers Radio. Oh, Bridge, you'll turn up with a suit on tomorrow, brown bronze, I can see it. Right, so if people want to join us, what's the number? Linda.
It's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can they join us, Bridgeman?
They can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, and Old School Blue or Fox will bring them in and look after them.
You're here. If you phone in, hang up, and we will phone you right back. We've not really got round to Morelos, Linda, have we?
No,
No.
talking about some of Alfie's goals, I think Bridge said earlier.
Alfie's been fantastic for us at times.
Yeah.
Different kind of player for Ali, I think. But again, up at Petard, he scored a fabulous goal, first time shot. He's two headers and Feyenoord, where things are top drawer, you know.
Yeah.
Against decent sides. It wasn't the hardest goal, but he scored big crucial goals for us, i.e. Legia Warsaw last year to get us in.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been joined by a caller. I think it's George. EK, I'm not sure. Evening, George.
It's Andy.
Oh, sorry, Andy. Sorry, I knew I recognised the number.
Geez, I keep getting
How are you
different
doing,
names
Andy?
called at me these days. No bad. How you doing, Linda?
Listen, mate,
Hi,
it's not been the
Andy.
first time you've been called names.
I know. Plenty off for you, that's for sure.
How goes it with you, Andy?
Not too bad. Like I just clocked the feed there. I just noticed my oldest granddaughter in the feed there, right enough. Like so, she's learning after all these years, eh? There you go.
That's
All
very
right,
nice.
okay. Well, give us a shout out, mate. Don't be shy.
Aye.
What's her
Brogan,
name?
Brogan, Jade.
Brogan.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I'm just clocked her in the feed there. I'm
Callaghan,
quite
Craig
shocked. Like.
McNeil.
Oh, come on, right, aye. I knew that was coming. My old man used to say that. He went nuts when my daughter named her like that. He just brought a memory back there, like, you know. Aye,
So
listen, she comes from
Brogan,
good body stock.
Here, mate, here. Brogan, all the best for everybody here at Rangers Radio. Remember, you can pick your friends.
Very good.
Listen,
I'm
Andy,
not biting
for
off.
you,
I'm
Chuck,
not biting.
For you,
Eh?
Chuck, mate, thanks for the donation, mate. Seen that, much appreciated, mate.
No, listen, there's no bother there, pal. You know that. I've been trying. I had a word with Port to try and contribute something to the show, but you never come back to me.
Oh, we don't work like that, mate. We don't.
I know you don't, but you know, you take my calls and all that, and it's not.
You know, but what's
do
on your
appreciate
mind, mate? What's on your mind?
Yeah, just things in general are pretty good, aren't they? Talking about Ali McCoy, I know he didn't do well for the managing side. Right?
We've kept away for that.
Yeah, well, you look at the circumstances he was under, right enough. Come on, I mean, geez, I mean, you know, I mean, the guy practically went round the den trying to survive there, didn't he? You know. And I think over the piece, I mean, I don't think we'll find another striker like him late enough. I mean, I know you can talk about your Morales, but I don't think you can put them in the same breath.
No, at the moment, mate.
The number of goals and the thing, the way Souness threatened was absolutely shocking. I remember him going up the stairs, I see Big Jock saying when he was having his bad time when he couldn't accuse us with a banjo. Right, you want to go to Cardiff, and possibly the best thing that happened because look what he did record-wise for the Rangers. Alan McCoist is pure Rangers. You just have to pick up what he's talking about. That. And it's nice to see the smiles on places like Ali and Chris Boyd now. You know, they're not having to take all this cake off for them, but the team looks like they're doing something. And you like to see the smiles back on their faces. And that's good. You know, listen, Ali McCoist lived what we lived. You just had to look at that guy. You know, he was unshaven, he didn't look right. They would probably have to go and tell people that had been there for years that they were going to lose the job. When people start jumping on Ali, they need to really stand up and smell the coffee. Ali McCoist is Rangers, part of the Rangers folklore, and always will be.
Listen, Ali, what do you think, Ali, the manager? That's people's choice, but Ali, the Rangers football player, it's got to be held in high esteem. Whether you thought he was the greatest player or the greatest finisher, his record dictates that. His number of medals dictate that. The number of goals he scored.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you think about the chances he missed along the way, right? He'd have gone miles in way in front of anybody. He wouldn't even be in question, like, because I mean, I was there when he was missing them. And boy, you know, I think we all thought at the time, like, you know, what the hell's going on here, like, but you know, he proved everybody wrong, and that was great for us, especially at our era and the time that we were following him. You know, we had some massive days after these goals. And looking back on him, now I've got nothing but fondness for him. I think, as I said, a player, there's nothing you can say about that. As a manager, I think what he went through, I think, was just shocking. The way he was treated there, and you know, he felt that like us. You know, he felt the pain and all that. And you know, the saying, we don't do walking away. Well, there you go. Look at that, because that man is just what Rangers, to me, it's what Rangers are all about.
I think the reason I brought in Morelos is because obviously he's current, and it could be compared to Ali, but he'd have to stay for years.
Oh, definitely. That's not going to happen, is it?
It doesn't look that way, but Morelos' record at the moment is pretty good as well, Linda.
Yeah, that definitely. I think he's at 84 goals. I think someone says he scored 80s anyway, I think, Ox. And it's all the big goals, as we were saying earlier on there, that he scored too, you know, in Europe. And it's, you know, like you said earlier, the league game, and it's got us through into the group stages. And some fantastic goals, you know. You think about the goals he scored against Porto in the group stages, home and away. You know, and then we're looking at this season, the Poznan one, you know, it's got us the 3 points. So, you know, it's goals that have really, really mattered as well, you know. And for Alfie, it's all about trying to get some domestic success and maybe getting some medals, because I think Gerrard himself says that you can't really compare them until Alfie starts to win things.
I think that's a fair comment, Andy.
Definitely. I mean, the old packages, you know, we can't compare anything at this moment in time. We're doing well, but we've got to start putting trophies on the board, and then we can start, you know, getting them going forward and making them into legends, whatever we think of certain players. You know, we've all got our favourites in this current squad, and it's been a long time, really. It's only the first time this season that guys are coming into the feed and saying, oh, well, he's a favourite of mine, because we've had some, since 2012 especially, we've had some dross in that club. Let's not kid ourselves. So as fans now, we're starting to feel proud of them for what they've done. Just hope that they can keep it going, keep their feet on the ground, and we'll be okay. And we'll go in the direction. All these young boys, and as I said the other night there, I want these young boys to sample what we've done. And I'm not saying that we didn't have bad times, because we did, but we had a lot of good times. And I just want them to feel that, and then they go and make their own history and come on the shows and have their own shows when we're long gone. Saying about, oh, I remember we went here or we went there and we won this and we won that. And I'm pretty sure they're in the corner that's coming.
Great shout, Andy. Great shout.
That's the aim. I mean, Like this thing that we're doing is now, obviously it's grown arms and legs a wee bit, but the idea is that eventually there'll be younger people take you and the thing will develop, yeah?
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in life, isn't it?
Well, the one true thing in life.
Obviously, Lynn will still be here, still being so young, you know.
You should be all right. You're only in your 20s, aren't you? I'm running out of time. That's why
Andy, stop cracking jokes like that, Andy. No more jokes like that, Andy.
I think I can sauce his age right enough, but I'll not put out on air. It might embarrass him, like, you know.
Oh, no. Let's just say there was another one added to the age on Saturday, mate, so there you go.
Yeah, well, there you go.
McCoy's the player, first class. Morelos, he's gave us some memories, and he has scored big goals for us, but there's a couple of things he has to get off his back. Winning goals against them, winning goals in big games, like, you know, obviously missed that pen in the cup final, and that can happen to anybody, but if that goes in, I don't even know. Our season could have been different last year. Linda, then Bridge.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that, Ox. And, you know, we've reminisced about that final a few times, and it just wasn't Alfie's day. You know, he could have had 4 or 5 goals, and that's not an exaggeration. And then obviously the penalty. But one of the goals he then scored after that was the young boys game. I think it came along fairly quickly after that, and we drew it 1-1, but he obviously got the opening goal. And he took his goal really well. And I remember his celebration, and he kind of apologised to the fans. I think it was in front of the Broomland Road fans. And he was kind of apologising for obviously what had happened in the cup final. And everybody says to him, look, just forget it and, you know, move on. And, you know, you're not hiding and you want to still score goals for us. But no, that our season could have been so different if we'd won that.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And we should have won it. And I thought the powers that be it seemed like anyway, were against us. Some of the one decision for their goal was just out. I mean, I don't know how they managed to where did they get that from? Where did they get that decision? There was 3 Celtic players offside. How can it be? It's just, and of course, their goalkeeper, Forster, he played the game his whole life. That was one of the best games of football a goalkeeper has ever played. That was just outstanding. It didn't matter where else we put the ball was going to hit him, or he fell and tap it, or he made a great save, or whatever. He just seemed to be there each time, even the penalty, each time the goalkeeper done it. And, you know, that same goalkeeper now, and it's not even a year after, but he can't get a game. Is it Southampton he was with? I believe he's sitting up in the stands. He can't even get into the squad. Just unbelievable. A year ago, he was playing one of the finest games of football a goalkeeper's ever played, and now can't get a game. I think Rangers were seriously unlucky in that game, seriously unlucky, and I blame the referees for them winning it. If we had got them into extra time or something, we might have done something different. But we were outstanding that day, in every part of the pitch except scoring goals. We were outstanding.
Yeah, it was a funny day because obviously we played so well, but my name wasn't in the cup, and that's all that matters sometimes, Andy.
Yeah, you kind of got the feeling, didn't you? You know, like I said about 15 minutes into that second half, I'm saying to myself, yes, these buggers are going to go up the park, get one chance and score, because, you know, we've been there many times, often we've seen this happen to Rangers before. The lasting thing for me with that game was, I'm going to throw it in here because it's my man, Jack was seeing that man in tears, and I still want Rangers to start winning trophies for all the team, but especially for him as well, because that meant such a lot to when the Morales won. It's a strange character work out. You know, I've been critical at times about him, but I've got to hold my hands up. I mean, I think the performance he put out there on Thursday night back there, you know, he kind of showed the quality to what's been added to his game from Steven Gerrard. So I kind of hold my hand up there. And the other one is, I think if he was to leave Rangers not scoring against them, I think that'd play with his career for the rest of his life. You know, because I'm convinced if he could get one against them, you know, while he's there, he'll start scoring them. But he just, you know, great Rangers strikers, whether we like it or not, you know, are judged on what we do against them. And, you know, all our great Rangers strikers have managed not just to hit the back of their again 1 or 2 times. They hit it regularly, and it would be a crying shame as well. This is from my point of view. He left the club not scoring against them, because he's given us in a short space of time. He's given us a lot of cracking memories. We've had the downside of him where he gets himself sent off and gets involved. When you look at the time he's getting sent off, they're not even for what I would call light. If I'm going to get sent off when I played, I'm taking him out. I'm getting sent off for something.
I don't think he's ever hurt anybody. That's
what I mean. It's strange. It's an absolutely strange situation with me. Sometimes in life, though, you get footballers, I mean, they're fantastic and score all over the place. And, they just can't, get that goal against your main rivals. I mean, Chris Boyd was one. I mean, I loved him. I thought he was a cracking striker, but he only scored a couple of goals against them as well. And my man, Colin Steen, he didn't have a big record against the Phils neither. Things happen sometimes,
It's funny how things work out, but I think Alfie, to be judged anywhere close to some of these people under, has to have the big goals and then has to have the medals as well, yeah?
Yeah, and he's got the big kind of a European goals in the Europa League, and who knows, don't want to look too far ahead, but maybe if he doesn't go, in the next year, and he stays, there's a chance that he could get a shot at possibly the Champions League. As I say, don't want to look too far ahead. But it would also be a shame, as Andy says, that if he doesn't score an Old Firm goal, and also if he didn't win something, because, he has put on some top performances. In terms of his disciplinary record, I think it looks as if it's better this year. There's probably a few factors. I know he's not, playing from the start in every game, and he's also got competition. So he probably thinks, I better not get myself sent off for anything silly, because might not get back into the team. But all his sending offs have really been for sort of petulance, haven't they? And
most of the time.
Yeah. It's not been a rash tackle or anything, has it, Ox? He's not, as you say, he's not hurt anyone or anything.
No, he's been sent off for waving at the Motherwell crowd, isn't he?
No, that's right. God. Oh,
that was a disgrace. But did you see the guy that threw that was a Motherwell boy? Or was that a different Motherwell game? I mean, the guy threw the cup of hot tea or something at him.
Aye, he's denied the charges.
He's denied the charges, and I'm like, how can he deny it? Anyway, it didn't matter. Sorry. But yeah, I remember it well.
I heard his defence says that the tea's never been warm.
blaming the Motherwell kitchen.
Aye. But he's been sent off for that, Andy. He was sent off for fun out of the street at Parkhead,
Yeah, well, I mean, the one with the leg on once he fell for that one, didn't he? I mean, Jesus Christ, I mean, you just, like you said, I mean, you can't, I know it's not, I want to call no contact sport now, but, we've all played, and when you used to play, I used to just wait till the end, and just flatten him then, at least he'd done the game out, but he fell for it, and it cost us the team, cost the team. And actually, in that game, it was a defensive mistake, wasn't it? The Tavernier, we were dominating that game.
Aye, with 10 men.
We went down in 10 men, So, these things happen. I think maybe the Wayne coming into his life, might have just calmed him a wee bit, because I know when mine came along, it certainly did for me. So there's that factor off the field.
Look what I've done to Fox. I've calmed him right down.
Aye.
What a shocker saying that. What a shocker.
But yeah, going forward, he gets that bit, he starts playing. And personally myself, I'd still like to see him further up top, that's where I think he does his damage right enough. But you can't, as I said, when we started the show with your mind talks, I was quite critical of the chances he was missing and all that. And, you did actually pull me on the fact that, you like the way he's coming into the game and swinging it back and forth and bringing other players into,
his game's changed, Andy. His game's changed.
His game's changed. I agree.
Some things his game blundered. I think it was the second goal, Kamara's goal, when he done that switch of play. I don't know if Alfie had that in his locker when he arrived at the club.
Yeah, that was a fantastic, just the build-up play, and he seems to be a lot more involved in the build-up play. And do you think that's an area of his game that he's kind of deliberately worked on? Because I don't think Gerrard will have told him not to be in the box as much, but I think it's just the way that we're playing Ox, isn't it? You know, the movement and everybody interchanging up front. But I think, Bridge was saying he would like him to still score his sort of quota of goals, and I think he's maybe got 7 so far this season. Knowing Alfie, he'll be wanting to at least get into double figures and, hitting his sort of 20, 25 mark. And but as I say, he has got competition up front now, so he might not play in every game. So that tally might not be achievable this season.
Aye, needed a bit of luck, right? But if people want to join us, what's the number?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Where else? They can join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. Phone in, hang up, and we will phone you back. Fox or Old School Blue will bring you in. And what can they talk about, Linda?
They can talk about anything as long as it's about Rangers.
Here.
Here's a theory anyway. Like what's he standing on the now at the minute, Morales? Because he's usually away with quite a few goals by this time. How many has he scored so far?
7.
7. Right. Well, okay then. Let's look at this way as another element going forward. If he's slow getting up to the Mayday games and all that, let's hope he gets his bar of the goals that he gets in the first half. He's in the second half, and then hopefully that'll definitely give us 55. So we'll look at it that way. We'll go, well, he scored a lot of goals in the first part in the last 2 years. As long as he gets them on the second part, we'll all be happy, won't we? That's what happened.
I hate to ask you this, but is there a split between the league games and the league goals and Euro goals?
Yeah, I can get that for you, Bridge.
Stato, phone in.
Well said, Bridge.
He scored 4 European goals and 3 league goals this year.
Yeah, I thought it was down in the low bracket in the league. Yeah.
But remember last year he was like 28 goals, or worse to that effect. And
only 12 league goals.
I'm saying, and only 12 of them were league goals. The rest was all European. So I don't care which way it goes. To be honest, I would prefer they get more league goals than European goals. I'm not really. I will spit that out. Sorry, I'll take that back. I don't really care where the mix is, as long as he scores them and we win the games. That's it. I was nearly taught myself, is it?
That's not what you mate, is it?
No.
Especially that Mrs. Bridge, you're the only man I know that can talk herself into trouble.
Oh my God, shush. She'll hear you sharp.
Right, Linda, I mean, obviously, Defoe was my top league goal scorer last year. I don't know if everybody recognises that.
No, I don't think so. I just think...
Oh, yes, absolutely. In the league, absolutely.
Bridge. I always just thought it was Alfie, but I think it's just because he scored so many. But Alfie's got to overtake the captain, hasn't he? Because the captain's a leading goal. The right back's the leading goal scorer with 12 goals. I mean, who would have thought that? I know there's been a few penalties, but he's certainly chipped in with the goals, hasn't he?
Aye, Andy, if I was big goals, then I'd better been Alfie about them and all too. I've scored 2
Oh,
there.
definitely. Well, that's the kind of things we used to do back in the day, didn't it? I remember that when we used to play, we used to bet in the midfield who would score more goals and all that carry on. Like, so as Golston, I would be saying, right, yeah, I know how to score against the Filth. You're going to try and do your best when we play them the next time, like, you know. Yes, I'd be playing a wee bit of play time there with him, definitely.
Two centre forward goals. He scored 2 goals and 2 centre forward goals. Just get in there and put it in the net. That's all you want to do. No matter. Brilliant.
I mean, you see that with Tav when he put that last one in, he started laughing.
That's it, you know.
Call yourself a striker.
Aye. Well, how many goals did you score today, Alfie? None. Brilliant. Just brilliant.
It was a good comparison, different players, and we've been fortunate with some great strikers. I would say they're 2 of the most the biggest characters we've had for different reasons. Bridgeman, McCoist and Morelos.
Oh yes, look, you got a guy who was, shall we say, some character on the outside of football and a massive character inside football. And what a mean nature he had. He was a real jack in the box as far as a bit of fun was concerned. and he took him and Gaza together were dynamite. And as far as I've heard, they were really good. So good man to have the night out. Let's put it that way. Apparently, so whereas Morelos, you never hear anything like that with him. You just never hear it. Well, I haven't heard anything. Let's put it that way. Quiet guy, quiet-natured guy. Morose is a good word for him when he's on the pitch as well, But it was lovely to see him smiling. I love to see him when he scores and he smiles. That's worth its weight in gold. That is worth its weight in gold.
I don't know. I love it sometimes when he gets a bad decision. Somebody
The trouble is when he gets a bad decision against them and he starts that, the referees, it just gives the referees the justification for yellow carding them or red carding them. And I just wish he could. I wish he could do all these facial things, but no mention any names and no shout at the referee while he's doing it. Maybe shout at himself or something like that, But yeah, it's a joy to watch, isn't it? It is. You think you can't help but laugh. You just can't. That time that they brought him off as they subbed him, and he scored 2 goals. He was looking for a hat trick or something, and they subbed him, and they were laughing at him coming.
That's right.
That was absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. We shouldn't say that, by the way, because there's devilment in the manager there. Devilment in the manager.
And somebody, I think it's for YouTube's picked on your thing about extending Stevie G's contract. I know we had gone away from ourselves. Did you think Champions League football would help?
Yeah, I think so. That'll give him an even bigger platform to test, his managerial skills, because we kind of sometimes forget he is a relatively new manager, isn't he, Ox? He's learning his trade, and we're talking about longevity in terms of players, but wouldn't it be brilliant if he stayed for 6, 7, 8 years? Because we all talk about this one job he might leave for down south, but hopefully that won't come up for a number of years. But yeah, Champions League, a wee crack at that. I think that might it might tempt Stevie to extend his contract, definitely.
You can't think of anything else other than we want him to stay.
Yeah.
And the results need to go his way, and something really bad must have happened for him to leave. I would say. I don't see a club like Liverpool letting what's his name move on. So I don't think Klopp will move on. But if he does, then they might want to wait 2 years or so before to let him get the managerial experience. But he's getting some great secrets. It's his 3rd season with us, and he's been playing European football for half of each of the seasons. And it's just unbelievable. He's got through. Well, it looks like we're going to get through to the last 32, is it? With a bit of luck. But he's got us through group stages each time. So we're into football up very close to Christmas, So we're not going to complain at that, are we? And the manager takes us past Christmas and New Year, and we're in Europe. Oh, wow! What a reputation he's building for himself. What a reputation!
Yeah, fantastic, isn't it, Bridge?
Oh, I love it. I just love it. I love listening to him. I think he's one of the classiest guys you could ever want to listen to. You just sit and listen to it. Obviously, we're saying that because he's ours. He's our manager, and he loves managing Rangers. So he can go in there and wax lyrical about Rangers and about what we're trying to do. Whether anyone else understands what he means, I don't know.
His accent's not that bad.
I know, I'm talking about the tactics.
Hey, we've got 20 minutes left. Football card's still moving. Thanks to everybody. Still some shots left. As soon as we get them all sold out, we'll get it sorted and we'll draw it so people can see it getting done. I think the boys have been working on some kind of Facebook feed, and then we'll put it wherever we can. But get it filled out and we'll get it drawn ASAP tomorrow night or Friday night on the show. Last few minutes, what's the number, Linda?
It's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can you join us, Bridge?
You can join us on Rangers Radio. Join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, and Fox our old school blue will bring you in and look after you. Enjoy yourself. It's great.
All right. If you phone in, hang up, and we will phone you back. Andy, you mentioned Colin Steen and when you mentioned McCoy's going back to players like that. We've been blessed with some fabulous strikers.
Well,
Is McCoy's your top?
Well, honestly, in the modern day, right enough, as I say, I would actually say to you, Derek Johnson.
Right.
The simple fact is, right, back in when he played, he was the first one really to play that lone striker, if it was acquired in them days. He was an absolutely fantastic centre-half, and if he hadn't played at centre-half at times, I think he'd have had more goals to his tally. He'd every faction about his game. He was strong. He could score a good goal. I've yet to see a finer header in the ball. In all my years of watching football, I've never seen a finer header in the man, Derek Johnson. Well, you put that on his napper at the right place, 99% of the time it's in the back of that rigging, no danger. Fantastic player, lovely guy. I think what happened to him on that radio snide that night, with that muppet, right, absolutely wrangled, still makes me angry to the day. And I just think he'd have gone for absolute mulligans in the modern day, him, Derek Johnson. Fantastic player. It was way before his time. He'd have come and fit in this team right now. He'd have showed you to score goals in the modern era. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
I'm going to bring Mr. Fox in because I know was a lover, a big DJ. So was I growing up. My granddad used to tell me about him. Fox, are you there, mate?
I am.
Big DJ.
Terrific centre forward. From a long line of great centre forwards we've had at Ibrox, mate. I mean, before him we had Jim Forrest, who was a personal favourite of mine. He holds the record, I think it is, for the most goals scored in a season. I think it's 50. Is it 57 or something?
Oh, Scato's going to kill you, mate.
You're dead, Fox. You're dead.
It's 57, and I think before him, Jimmy Fleming had scored 44 league goals in the season.
He was more of your time, but Jimmy Fleming.
Back in the 30s. And as we move on, we've had players like Michael Moles, etc. We've been blessed with some terrific strikers. And if Alfie has the lifetime or the length of stay with Rangers as some of these other strikers, I think he'll go down as one of the best goal scorers that we've got.
Wouldn't argue with that. I think when you mentioned Jim Forrest, to me, that I've seen, Jim Forrest was the best centre forward I've seen. He's what a goal scorer, but badly done to by the club. We don't know all the ins and outs of it, other than it was a bit of an unfortunate result down at Berwick. So, and I think him and his big pal George McLean, they took the brunt of that, and so it is. But seriously, what a wonderful centre forward! And just like Foxy said there, if he would be able to stay at Rangers and continued scoring some goals, my God, the world was his oyster. If he could have got 4 or 5 seasons at the top, scoring goals like that, my goodness gracious, you just don't know where it would have been. What a player!
I made a wee mistake there. It was Jimmy Fleming had scored 44 Scottish Cup goals. It was actually Sam English that had scored the 44 goals in the one season.
Sam English. Yeah. Unfortunate player, that. Unfortunate.
All right. Morelos, mate, you've been right behind them for day one. You saw something there that some people never. How do you rate him overall now?
I think he's a more complete all-round player. He originally played in the midfield, and the way Stevie Gerrard's turning him in, I've often compared him this season like the Firmino role at Liverpool, where he kind of sets up more goals than he actually scores. But Alfie will come good later on this season. He's just too aware not to score goals in the competition up here in Scotland. And I think, like Andy said earlier on, I think he'll come good in the second half of the season. If he's still here, that is.
I hope you're right.
Can I just say one thing on the Liverpool thing as well? People were talking about, well, Stevie G can we extend his contract? And my question would be, will the Liverpool job be a poison chalice after Klopp, same as it was after Ferguson left Man United, where you're not just going to walk in at the back of these managers and suddenly think you're going to do big things? So an extended stay at Rangers for Steven Gerrard would be beneficial for him in the future, I think.
Fox, that's a good point there, because you see when you get right down to it, like there's two things on the Morales one, right? I don't think you would have seen this type of Morales player if he wouldn't have been taken under the charge of Steven Gerrard. So that's a bonus going forward there. And the top and the bottom of it is, right, the only job he wants to go to really is Liverpool. Well, Klopp's going nowhere soon. So Stevie gets his trophies, gets it up, gets a taste of wear back in the grounds and all that. I think we'll possibly swear him to want to stay at Rangers. Because when we start winning things, and he sees what that support's like, because there ain't no ground barrier or anything. If we're in them grounds going to stop us when we win that league, there's so much emotion. He feels that. He gets Rangers. And that is a good plus going forward for us. Rangers will be... Gerrard will not leave Rangers for anybody else other than Liverpool. And Gerrard here for a good while yet. Yeah. So, in that case, for us, we're lucky.
He may leave for family reasons more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, mate. You can get a new family, you can't get a new team.
Very controversial, I'll tell you. Can I just say, I hope that he stays. I really do. I think he's a marvellous centre forward for us, marvellous goal scorer, and when he scores, the whole Ibrox smiles with him, and that's the God's honest truth. Every fan just loves him, and they want him to be successful, because when he's successful, we'll be successful, and that's what we want.
Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. Some great debate about Morelos. I don't know if we're going to Stevie G, but it's obviously he's the man that's behind the power behind the throne with Morelos, Linda.
Yeah, and even talking about Morelos this season, he's had a wee bit of a stop-start season to a certain extent, because obviously we thought he was going at the beginning of the season. He was kind of out of the team and then he was out of the squad. He was kind of behind everybody with his fitness. He's only really got himself to blame for that, but he was kind of playing catch-up. But we're now starting to see him, the real Morelos and the Morelos that we want to see. And he's also got aspirations to play for his country. So he'll want to play at the top end so that he can get picked, internationally. So looking forward to seeing him going, chipping in more goals and continuing his good play. Just can't wait for the next Rangers game, to be honest.
Can I just say, that's well said there. I also think he's desperate to play for Colombia, but Colombia are expecting Morelos to be playing at the top in Scottish football or whatever our main club is, but also in Europe. And if he's playing in Europe, if he's not getting a game under Mr. Gerrard, for whatever reason, then he's got to sort it out, because he'll not get a game in Europe. If he gets the games in Europe, then he'll be playing international football. That's for sure.
Right, we'll see where it takes us. So we sum up, Linda. Competition. One winner for me at the moment, I'm afraid.
Yeah, Ali McCoy's for me all day long, I'm afraid, just now, Ox.
Touch of favouritism there, to be honest.
What about you then, Bridge?
I don't know. I think I have to go with, to be honest, on that one. I think I have to go that way too, yeah. I thought he was just wonderful to watch. As I say, when you went to Ibrox to see, or anywhere to see him, there was an expectation of a victory, an expectation of him scoring, apart from the times when he was injured and in that. But if he was there, then you always had hope that he could score a goal, and you always felt he would. And that's true. And there's very few people give you that feeling. And when he did, it was great.
What about yourself, Andy?
Oh, definitely, it's got to be Ali McCoy, as I said earlier on there. I mean, when he scored the goals, he was jumping inside like we were jumping on the terrace. And I mean, that guy just, for me, it's a no-brainer. you know, he's very instrumental in the 9 in a row if you look at that. And the way, you know, for me, the way that Mr. Souness, you know, threat him. And I remember watching a programme down in England, was it some 5-a-side thing? And somebody tried to jump him, like, you know, one of the commentators saying, well, you're not getting a game now, that'll be you ready for getting off. And I remember him saying, not at all. You know what he was, not at all, not at all. Rangers are my club. And then shortly after it, Souness decided to go, and then Haley and McCoist became a big part in their teams going forward there. So you've got to applaud him, because like the goals he was scoring coming off the bench, scoring wonder goals and then getting taken, you know, off the next game and things like that. You've got to applaud the man for that. That shows you the mettle about the character of him, and it also shows you what he felt about the Rangers. Brought up one of us, so he knows the score. And unfortunately, we don't have that many of them in the team now. So, you know, it can be a no-brainer for me. That's why I'll leave it with Alec.
I think that what you mentioned there about his partnership with Hateley, it was instrumental in seeing him through, because I had a marvellous partnership with Hateley for a number of years, and that carried Rangers. Wonderful to see. Wonderful to see. I loved Big Hateley with him. Loved it.
Yeah, he was great, Bridge.
He was a great partner. You know, in his first season there, he was like a solo one. You know, nobody could understand what he was trying to do. But you know, when he clicked with McCoist, mind he was getting the games before McCoist when Mojo was there.
Yeah, that's
true. It was Hateley and Mojo for a while. But my goodness gracious, when it became him and McCoist, the two of them just fed off each other. Just wonderful. Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Loved it.
They became telepathic, didn't they, in the end? You know,
it seemed like it, yeah. It seemed
doing,
like,
you know.
Yeah. The goals that he scored down at Leeds, I'm sorry to mention it, Andy, you know, but the goals they scored
you don't
down
mention a certain name, man, you're all right.
No, you're all right. But, the 2 goals that they scored between them is just out of this world. I mean, remember, in those days, Leeds United were a major force in European football too. Yeah. Great game, great goals.
We've touched on some real popular players tonight. I think Ali's won it. And I don't even think it's been close, Lyndon, if I'm being honest.
No, I think Ali's just the most popular one amongst all of us anyway, Ox, you know, and you just sort of associate Ali with success that we've had in the past as well, as Andy was touching on, you know, all the medals and the trophies, you know, the European the Golden Boot Awards, just everything. You know, and yeah, he started off his career, it was quite difficult at first for him, but, you know, hats off to him because he stuck by it, because he was living the dream and he was playing for his boyhood club, and he always wanted to play for Rangers. So thank goodness he did stick it out, because he's given us some memories.
He's also followed on in the path of a number of really, really good Rangers centre forwards. You know, way back in the day, Jimmy Miller was the number one centre forward with Rangers, and then it became Jim Forrest, and then further on you ended up with Colin Steen and Derek Johnson, and so on and so forth. You know, so you get a really, real good trail of marvellous centre forwards for Rangers. Great servants.
Oh, sorry, Bridge, I was listening to you intently there. I wasn't on mute. I was listening to you.
I wasn't in a tent.
You might be if you win that ball.
Don't say that out loud.
I think the biggest difference between Alfie and Morelos is one is loved by the media and one is hated.
Oh, that's a fair comment, Linda.
Yeah, I think Alfie gets a hard time, and you know, he doesn't deserve it. You know, I know he's done some silly things in terms of sendings off and, you know, some of the bookings and that, but he doesn't even get the credit for all the charity work he does, Fox. You know, he's got his foundation back home, and you hardly see anything about that in the press at all, you know, but I think you're right. I think he gets a really, really hard time, and it's undeserved.
He's treated disgracefully by the press here. The whole media squabble up here, every one of them, they treat him shabbily, dreadfully. Unbelievable stuff.
Listen, guys, you see, when you flipped it and he played for that mob, he'd be the best thing since sliced pea. I'm telling you. That's how much they hate him. It's absolutely shocking what they do to him. You know, Ian, you can understand why he loses a plot every now and again. The stuff he has had to put up with since coming up the road there is unbelievable. But if you'd have put him in one of them shirts, he'd be the best. They'd be defending him all over the place. They'd be saying, what's going on here? Why are you treating him like that? That's the difference. That's what we're up against up there, aren't we? Let's not kid ourselves.
Well, it's definitely,
I agree with that.
definitely a cabal, yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, the last few minutes, you're, just because we've ended up talking about strikers, your top 3 strikers, Bridgman.
Top 3 Rangers strikers.
Yes.
Okay. Obviously McCoist. Obviously Forrest. And between Big DJ and Colin Steen. I'll go for Colin Steen.
All right, Big DJ on the bench.
Yeah, he's on the bench, yeah.
All right, Linda.
I'm going for Super Ali, Mark Hateley, and I'm going to go with Alfie.
Oh, controversial. Andy.
Colin Steen, Derek Johnson, and Ali McCoist.
You can tell people's ears by their strikers, can't you?
Just about, can you? Just about. I'm going to go for I'm going for Alfie because I'm not as old as you think I am.
Well said, Vince.
If you want, you'd have been going for Peter McNeil.
Well said, pal. He was one of the first.
Oh dear. All right. We could struggle. McCoist would need to be in it. But didn't see him for long finishing wise. Would Negrin will be up there when they started
good
that
shout.
season? Yeah.
Yeah, good shout, Ox.
Moles was just something else in that position, doing that turn and working hard and basically beating defences on his own, Linda.
Yeah. He's my 4th choice.
Don't forget about Billy Urquhart.
Billy Urquhart.
There's one that springs to mind, and I'm sure Southside Bear will appreciate this one. Andy Kennedy would be in my top 3. I'll just leave it at that, Southside.
Never made the bench.
Ali Scott, what about him?
Ali Scott.
Ali Scott, well, he was a winger. Oh, wait a minute, it's the other Scott you're talking about.
The other one, you got you there.
Sorry, pal.
Alex Scott or Ali Scott?
Ali Scott, was it? I can't mind. Who was it?
Ali Scott, he means the centre forward.
Yeah, the blonde-haired guy.
I wouldn't say he was blonde-headed, but you're stretching a bow there. It used to flutter, didn't it?
That's right, yeah. Well, that's how I remember him anyway.
That was my great-granddad told me about him. No, he used to give
what you like?
He used to give McGrain a hard time in the Old Firm games. They didn't like him. Ali McCoist, Michael Moles, Derek Johnson. No, Derek Parlin. Can I have 5?
Go on.
You've already got 4 Dereks.
I forgot about Kenny Miller.
Yeah.
Alan McCoist.
Yeah, we Kenny Miller.
Michael Moles. Derek Johnson. There you go. That's what I'm sticking to Andy. Andy's fell off his seat. Well,
no.
He thinks you're winding him up. That's what's the matter.
I'll give you my 3, so I'll stick with him. You could pick another 10 really if they give me 10 minutes, right enough. But we probably could pick more, couldn't we?
Aye, that's what I'm sticking with. Linda, thanks for the question. And an hour and a half later, we've just finished the answer.
You're welcome, Ox. I really enjoyed it. Good chat and reminiscing. It's been fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and we're looking for that photograph of Foxy's haircut as we speak. What we've worked out is it was in black and white, the picture.
Oh.
It's over to you, Bridge.
What can I say? It was an absolutely wonderful night. Really and truly. There were great discussions and, of course, fond memories. on great times at Ibrox and other stadia as well. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, great night was had here. Every single one is. Keep it going for the Rangers. 11 sleeps to the next game. Keep it going, everybody. Keep it going.
All right, can I thank the callers? Can I thank Andy, Greg and Derek for joining us? Can I thank Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technical work? Young GB and Port Bear, who are doing some stunts for us and pushing Rangers Radio on social media. Thanks for that, lads. Just to let you know, we will be joined by Natalie Nairn for Rangers, and we'll be talking about my Jers, the 150th anniversary and the 50th anniversary of the Ibrox disaster. We might also be joined by Greg Marshall as well. So if you get your questions on social media, we'll look at them and we'll edit them, and the panel members, maybe if we get a chance, we'll ask the questions. Thanks for all your donations. We'll hopefully get the ball finished ASAP. Fantastic. They had over £600 the last I looked. Fantastic for a free ball going to a lovely cause. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad times, of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I would have a lad, I would show him the way, as he did on that day. And so here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the Jers with my father and son. And it's sure safe to say, at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life.